Wait.
See
Hold
what
a
I mean?
second. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Say that again. Look at your rap sheet. 40 plus team members. Dude, that's nuts. Okay, so speak to that for a second. 40 plus team members.
I think the bigger feat in that is, and I have family, friends, and people have become very close with me who are, I'm fortunate to have those kind of people around me that see the vision for what it is. And they're just as passionate as anybody else here about what we're doing. And they seek out and find really great people that align with our core values. We definitely had some rocky points.
Developing a business like this is the benefits go further than just the benefits for you, the benefits for them. But I think it actually strengthens the industry in a lot of ways. Welcome to the Bug Bucks Podcast, a podcast designed to turn you into a bug money millionaire. This episode is brought to you by Bug Bucks Plus, the #1 course designed to help you build and scale your pest control company. I'm your host, Eric Bassett, and of course, right next to me as usual, Jay Klaus. What's up, dude?
What's up, Eric and my bug bucksters?
Dude, it's different.
Wait, hold on a second. Before you start the opener, did you just say the opening without looking at your
I've
computer?
been doing that. I've been doing that for a few weeks.
Oh, okay. All right. I was watching on the screen. I was
that
like,
part of it.
Oh,
yeah,
all
that
right.
part of it I have memorized.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah, right. And
Yeah.
I actually, truth be told, I actually had a little bit of a typo in this particular one where I said something different than I usually do.
Oh.
Bonus points to anybody who can figure out what that is. And
You mean a typo?
like a Speako, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Is that what you would call that? Speako?
It is now.
That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Cool.
Yeah.
Done. All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, cool.
So
Good
what's
work.
up? What's going on, dude?
Well, we were going to talk about the rain.
Yes, honestly. So it was freaking wildly hot, for our market. And then of course, when I was over in Boise too, it was in the hundreds for a while and 90s here. And then just magically at the end of July is when we're recording this, the rain happened.
Dude, this weekend, it rained perpetually yesterday. All day. Like it didn't stop raining once.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It feels like April.
It does. It was weird. And then it's going to be mid 90s next or at the end of the week.
Yeah.
In 2 days, really.
Dude, I don't know how things are for everybody listening in your market, but when it rains here for a couple of days and then it gets really nice and hot after that,
the bugs.
It's magical.
Yeah.
Yeah. The ants come out, things bloom and blossom, and wasps are going crazy and box elder bugs are going nuts. It's going to be great.
Yep. Yeah. It's funny because, they say that the most dangerous time to drive is after a long period of dry weather.
Yes.
And then it rains and then all the oils come up off the road and it's real slick, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, on the fire department, we use this app called Ice by Fire. And it's like, it gives us our updates and, when a call drops, it notifies us. And then we have call notes from dispatch and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. Well, we also get to see the call notes for all of the surrounding districts around us where we provide mutual aid. Mm-hmm. And this morning I woke up and I just kind of check it periodically to see what's going on in the county. And it was like traffic accident, fall, traffic accident. And I was like, oh, well, that's what happens when it's dry for months and then it rain and the rain. So
crazy, dude.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to have a little bit of a break in some hot weather, but I'm a hot weather season guy.
Me too.
So I am looking forward to August.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good
month.
month.
The heat.
So
heat's good. Speaking of bringing the heat.
Yeah, we do have a fantastic guest today. You guys are going to love him. But before we bring him on, just want to remind everybody listening, the best way to receive new episodes is by subscribing to our show on your preferred podcast platform like Apple, YouTube, Audible, or Spotify. If you love the show, please leave us a rating and a review. Make sure to check out our Facebook group, Bug Bucks Plus. That is BUGBUX Plus. We've got over 4,400 other pest control owners in that group waiting to connect with you and share their thoughts. Pretty amazing, 4,400.
And growing.
Yeah, dude, it's getting big.
Yep.
The best way for you to share your feedback on our show and have your questions highlighted and discussed here on the podcast is in that Facebook group. So make sure you find us and join. So back to our guest for today, which is super exciting.
Without further ado.
Yeah, it's the first time that we've had him on the podcast.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Which is going to be great. So today we would like to welcome Josh Fleener. Josh is the president of Pest Pros Pest Solutions, a family-owned and operated pest control business that has been thriving for over 6 years. They have a team of 40 plus dedicated team members, each contributing to their culture in their own way.
Wow.
Josh, welcome to the show, man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm great. Thanks for having me. We kind of had our weather break here recently too. I think it got into the low 100s. So in Northern California.
And Josh, remind us where are you guys located?
We're based out of Sacramento, but we have offices in the Bay Area and in a little up north in Yuba City, which you've probably never heard of.
No, we know. Yeah, we know Yuba City.
Me and Jake got our pest control starts selling in California.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So you know the lay of the land out here.
Oh boy. Yeah. I started in the industry in a market just south of you. I was in Turlock, Modesto area. There was a company I worked for down there. That was 2005 and 6 when I got started in the industry.
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we've expanded into that area. We're actually opening a Manteca office in the next 3 months. So we're
all right.
Coordinating all that.
Cool.
Yeah. So I know it makes sense when you say that you got a little bit of a weather breakdown there, low 100s. Dude, I remember when it was just 100, 114, 115 degrees during the day, 95 at night.
Yep.
Like that was what it was like.
Yep.
So, man, what is it for you guys in the past couple of weeks? I mean, how do you I don't want to get sidetracked here, but how do you manage a team of technicians when it's 110, 115 degrees outside?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, you got to keep their spirits up through all of it. They're wearing long sleeves and they're out there slaving away. I mean, you guys know you knock doors out here.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure that
we got to wear shorts and
sending them. Yeah, well, we can't get away with that. But we find ourselves regularly sending them a little bonus through applause to hey, make sure you stay hydrated today.
Oh, sure.
Just keep their spirits up.
Do you get complaints? Do your technicians complain about servicing in the heat?
Not a tremendous amount. I've dealt with it in the past, but we have a really, really good group. They're very dedicated and they understand what it takes to be successful. And, we've been very blessed to surround ourselves with some really great people.
That's awesome.
Love it, dude.
Yeah. Some of our folks up here, when it gets to be 90 degrees, they're like, "Oh, it's so hot,"
Yeah, you can definitely get some of the guys a little bit more sensitive to the heat for sure.
Yeah, and then I'm over here like, what? I sold door to door in 110, 115. This heat wave in Dallas one year, it was 15 days over 115 degrees during the day, and it never dropped below triple digits, even at night.
Yeah, that's brutal.
That was nuts.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, the pests really come out with that heat.
Oh, yes.
I feel like it comes with the territory because, and we've had podcast guests that are from Phoenix and obviously you from your area. And, the technicians that you're hiring are probably people that are used to that kind of climate,
acclimated.
Right? Up here in the Pacific Northwest, just everybody in general in this climate, gets into the 95s and they're like, what are we going to do? Do we shut stuff down? Like, what's happening? What do we do if it hits over 100? It's like you
drink water.
Fine.
Drink 2 waters and a Gatorade, and then 2 waters.
Put on some sunscreen. I think we're going to be okay.
Yep.
But
Josh, how do you handle it? Because you have a Nordic Norseman beard.
Yeah, it's funny. A lot of my guys do, and that's I guess one of the benefits of working here, because when they see the beard through the interview process, they'll see me. They'll see an area manager or operations manager, and they're like, "Can I really have that?" And yeah, you can. Within reason. It can't be down to your belly button.
Right. Yeah.
Groomed up a little bit. It still looks good.
You can't have a Duck Dynasty beard and still expect your respirator to fit, right?
Yeah. Well, maybe
bugs have to fear the beard.
Fear the beard.
Dude, speaking of that same kind of topic, you guys are family owned and operated. And you've got this team of 40 plus. So I'd love to ask you about kind of your culture. How did you guys get started? Was it always designed to be kind of a family run business? Give us the details.
Yeah. So my partner, Zach, and I, we're like brothers. We've been really good friends for 24 years. We were with the same company 24 years ago, competing against each other sales-wise. Mm-hmm. And we just built a really great relationship through that. And we always talked about starting a business together, and it kind of came together at the right time. I would say it was probably a perfect storm. and I had a really, really strong vision for what I wanted it to be. And he's so bought into it and champions everything that I say. So makes it easy to be successful. So we kind of hit the ground running. Our first year, we started out, with a handful of relationships and started in March and did 747,000 the first year.
Wow, nice.
And that was just, pulling some guys together that we were very close with, that bought into the same vision, and we just had this mentality that we were going to be successful no matter what.
So did you do door to door? Is that how you grew at the beginning?
No, so we've done 0 door to door, and
oh wow,
man,
all right.
In Northern California, especially right now, the door knockers are out. Everybody's sending them, and I just read a whole book on it. I don't have a whole lot of experience other than I was a start tech for Clark Pest Control years ago.
Oh,
when
yeah,
they
I
were doing the door to door stuff.
For Clark too.
Yeah.
Oh, did you really? Awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe we ran into each other back then. Who knows? But no, we actually had a huge presence on LinkedIn initially, pre-COVID, and we got into a lot of property management early on. So we said, if we're going to be successful early on, let's go after some big stuff and land that and create a big foundation, and then start filling in the gaps with the residential.
Oh, cool.
And we were very successful with that. Our goal was to get our foot in the door with one manager and win over the whole portfolio. And we did that over and over again. And so we have property managers that we have, 120 accounts with. And that built the foundation to things. And then COVID hit and our whole marketing plan changed completely.
Oh, yeah.
Because you couldn't get a hold of anybody. You couldn't get in front of anybody. So we started putting some money into pay-per-click through Google, through Yelp, all that.
Yep.
And Google just took off for us. And next thing you know, we've got this heavy presence that we're growing in the residential market. And, as all of us know, that it's a very profitable market if you can be successful there. And so now we're working towards being 50-50 commercial multifamily versus residential.
Oh, cool. So you do a lot of apartment complexes and MDUs and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so we felt like that was almost a blue ocean for us because there isn't a whole lot of people operating there that actually enjoy it, for good reason, because a lot of people they didn't understand how to build the value and ask for the money, and we did, and we built the value, and we've continued to raise pricing, and our clients have bought into that and see the value in it, and we've become very profitable in that market.
That's awesome. So blue ocean, red ocean, residential, especially with the door-to-door knockers, has kind of become a bit of a red ocean market in a lot of places. And so you're saying that what you did was you looked at where there's not a ton of competition, and you saw there wasn't a ton of competition in MDUs and apartment complexes and stuff, and you said we're going to target those areas. How did you? So you said you talked to management companies, but how did you get in there and get your bids accepted and actually start with that process?
Well, the first wave was kind of like, it was barbaric. Like we're going to get in your face. We're walking into your office,
kicking the door in.
Yeah, aggressive but not aggressive.
Okay,
it's like win them over with personality and connection, and what we found is a lot of people weren't coming in the most excited to talk to them about pest control. They saw it a bit as a burden at times, and we came in, showed our personality, and connected, and promised things, and came through on it. So a lot of it was, they'd give us, say, a unit that they were having a major roach issue or bed bug issue that other companies couldn't solve the problem. And it was our life's mission at that point to make that go away so they could see that we could take some things off their plate.
Yeah. And this is this is a personal question or a personal business question. What are your margins like on those apartment complexes and MDUs?
They're not as great as residential, but we're profitable on it. not to the same extent, but it allowed us to build a larger foundation to pursue the other things. So everything's been a step along the way. It's like, okay, let's get this foundation together so we can put money into other areas to pursue now, say, the residential market, which we're doing very well in.
Yeah. Well, and I feel
see,
like, typically what you find is from a commercial aspect, the margins aren't as good as residential, just like you're
No.
saying, but the retention seems to be pretty decent, right? So I don't know if you guys have experienced the same thing with your kind of commercial journey. Do you feel like you're getting better retention with those accounts than you are residential?
Yeah, so our retention with multifamily, well, commercial in general has been under 1% the entire 6.5 years we've been in business.
Wait.
See
Hold
what
on
I
a second.
mean?
Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Say that again.
Yeah. So the
Yeah,
people
it's
in the
under
back end here,
1% for
under
6.5
1%,
years. So
over 6.5 years.
Wow.
Wow, dude.
if we're having things, let's say we have a cancellation, it's usually because it was a change of property management. What we took the mindset that if they cancel because it's a change of property management, we're getting our foot in the door with that property manager. And if for some reason, what you often see is that manager left and went somewhere else now we have a foot in the door over there.
Yeah.
So,
man,
yeah.
so that's crazy. Okay, so when you consider cost of acquisition is always higher than cost of retention.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though your margins might be less on these multifamily than on residential, would you say are you coming out about equal on those, or is it still?
It's probably still a little under. I'd have to get the latest numbers, and I apologize for not having that. But I know that we're profitable, and we've reviewed them. But yeah, when you talk about retention, and I don't have to, I'm not paying to go pursue another client to bring them in. And really, I look at like when we're getting free leads. They acquire a new property, we get the new property.
Yeah.
And
dude, that's awesome.
That's been our focus. So we've been trying to balance that and keep the quality of service and the focus there with growing residential market, because that's been a big focus for us now too, which we heavily invested into our efforts with Google. We have over 1,500 5-star reviews. And I think one of the things that separates us from other companies, or not everybody, but majority of companies, is if you look at us, we really don't have 1-star reviews.
Yeah.
So you can, people can manipulate and fake the 5-star reviews, but you can't manipulate and fake not having the 1-star reviews.
Yep.
Right.
And I think that's a testament to my team, is that they're these guys are ready to fight. If we get some indication that there's a poor service or somebody's on the fence, they may be leaving us a bad review, these guys will go out and do whatever it takes to absolutely turn that around and show them who we are.
Dude, I love that. And it, obviously you have this awesome growth year one. You guys have a game plan to go after these kind of commercial, multifamily accounts, which has turned out awesome for lots of reasons.
Oh yeah.
And then, the time that you guys made the transition to pursue residential, kind of during that COVID type era, I remember Google being awesome for us in that era too.
Mm-hmm.
We jumped into the LSA game, and dude, we had some of our best marketing return on investment during 2020, 2021, and then part of 2022.
Yep.
So I mean, you guys, the things that you guys are doing, I'm not surprised at all that they are giving you guys a good return. But I will say that with growth like that, and we mentioned this in the beginning, it takes a team, right? It takes building the right team of people. And you said that you had a dream, like you had a vision of what you wanted this pest control company to be from the get-go, right?
Yeah.
How did you incorporate that vision and that dream as your company scaled? What do you guys focus on in order to make sure that your team, everybody from the top to the bottom, understands that vision and knows what you want from the company?
I think the important thing is to cast the vision, understand what the vision is, cast the vision, and make sure that your supporting pieces throughout the company are doing exactly the same. So you have to be close-knit, and you have to talk often. You have to have passionate conversations and share that. And then you have to have those tough conversations too when somebody's not doing what's needed to be done to keep this thing going. We're so committed to hitting our goals and fulfilling our vision, which is never going to come to an end. It's just next step. I think that's the hard thing for people to understand sometimes, because I'm a super passionate person. I'm actually an introvert, but I have extrovert tendencies at work. But I'm a very passionate person when we talk about these kind of things. And sometimes people think that it's like, oh, well, we hit something massive and then we're on to the next. It's just the way my mind works. I celebrate. I love it. We celebrate together. We do a lot of company functions, but my mind instantly goes to what's next and what's next and what's next, because I have to continue to push the vision for the team to ensure that they're achieving the things that they're so much capable of. But my intent is not to make this about me. It's about my people. I want to see them succeed, because I bring on these guys that have these big visions for themselves and where they want to be. And maybe they didn't get an opportunity where they were because it didn't grow to a point where that even was there. I help them realize that. And then our responsibility as a team is to get them there. Let's create the opportunities. Let's build the path and, open all that up for them.
So the leadership element is just key there. And I'm looking at your rap sheet. 40 plus team members.
Yeah,
Dude, that's nuts. Okay, so speak to that for a second. 40 plus team members. That's a huge.
I think the bigger feat in that is my leadership team. I have family, friends, and people have become very close with me I'm fortunate to have those kind of people around me that see the vision for what it is. And they're just as passionate as anybody else here about what we're doing. And they seek out and find really great people that align with our core values. We definitely had some rocky points where maybe we hired somebody that didn't 100% align with our core values, and we regretted it later. But I think that's an important lesson to learn early on in business. I think it's a lesson that will continue to peek its head that we'll have to deal with. But I think the real feat is that, we have 40 plus people, but it's 40 plus people that align with our core values very, very well.
So you said that your key leaders go out and they find these people. Are you saying that like most of the people in your organization are like referrals, or they're brought in by?
Majority are referrals. So I think that my management team especially, and then my service team does, they're like recruiters. I mean, one of our really great hires was one of our managers was picking up material from one of our vendors, and there was a service guy out there webbing the front of the vendor's office, and he goes, "Oh, do you do the service here?" He goes, "No, I just saw some webs and I thought
What?
that I would take care of him." And we're like, "Man, that guy's got to be on our team."
He's like, "Sonny, this isn't even my job. I just do computer programming here, but I saw these cobwebs."
He's like, "I read this book by Jocko Willink and Leif Babin, and
Dude, that's awesome. And I love that, you have an aligned leadership team that, they're all firing all cylinders. When you share that vision with them and they're thinking, okay, we need to get from point A to point B. In order to do that, I need to have these other team members in place. And then all of a sudden their radar is just always looking for high quality people, which is really cool. Right. We are in our company, I think the percentage of employees that we have that are from referral is like mid 90s.
Yeah.
I think we have a handful
That's
of people.
awesome.
Yeah. And it's, it's kind of in a similar way, where you think, okay, we need to hire somebody. Who do we know that fits the mold? Right. Do we have anybody there that we can find first? And like, is there somebody that needs a good opportunity? Because just like you said before, like it's so fulfilling from an ownership perspective when you can take somebody who wants an opportunity and provide that to them, and then kind of plant the seed and watch them grow.
Yeah.
Right. So awesome.
Yeah, no, that's been really cool for us too. It's like, I would say we're on the higher end pay scale wise in the industry. And, I've seen people's lives change, and including some of my family. I hired one of my cousins who I hired we call them service pros. We don't call them technicians,
Perfect.
service professionals or service
Yep.
pros. I hired him as a service pro, and I knew he had he was new to the industry, but he had a very high aptitude for leadership growth. And he's now my director of operations. And I've seen his life change tremendously. And, he's my right hand, with this company. And, he's deeply tied into everything that we do. And he's just as driven as anybody else here.
Oh, that's awesome. I want to peek behind the curtain just a little bit. Can you illustrate for us what your org chart looks like? We're going to take a quick moment to highlight one of the premier sponsors of the BugBucks Plus platform. If you're looking for a way to drive 5-star reviews, employee and customer engagement, and provide additional tips and bonus compensation for your team members, Applause is the platform for you. Applause makes it easy with their streamlined online platform and app. They give your management team clear and detailed reporting and provide competitive leaderboards that drive employee engagement. And these are just a few of the benefits that Applause delivers. To learn more about how Applause can take your company to the next level, visit ApplauseHQ.com. That's APPLAUSEHQ.com. And remember to ask about special discounts for BugBucks Plus Facebook members and BugBucks Plus subscribers. Now back to the BugBucks podcast.
So I have a director of office administration. I have a controller / director of finance. I have a director of operations. And then I have a director of marketing. And then I'm currently holding the director of sales position, but we're filling that soon. And then I recently hired a guy that had 30 years in the grocery business, customer service, and was a district manager for several locations and had 150 employees per site. And
Wow.
I brought him in as an operations support piece, and he's kind of floating in between departments and helping me tie everything together a bit better. And that's still a new relationship, and we're still filling all that out. But so far, it's been a really good piece to our team. So those are my direct reports.
Yeah.
And then under my operations manager, I have an area manager per 8 service pros. They cannot have more than 8 service pros.
Nice.
Brilliant.
Because it starts to go beyond that and things start to slip.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think it's nice, and feel like I'm a pretty organized person, maybe a little OCD. But whenever somebody has like a nice, clean org chart, it's just so satisfying to me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the line of communication, the chain of command. I remember when Jake first brought the ideas that we got from Extreme Ownership and Dichotomy of Leadership, those books, into our service team, and he started redesigning how we had things lined up.
Decentralized command
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
And so it's a nice thing to look at because it allows you to kind of control the chaos a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it's cool to be able, for the people who are listening and they're thinking, okay, I wear all the hats right now, right? It's cool for them to be able to see into the future and go, oh, like, I don't have to wear all the hats one day. One day I have a director of operations. I've got a controller. I've got a finance manager. I've got a director of sales and marketing. Like you can design these positions to kind of offload and delegate all these duties. And all these people are passionate about those roles in their business, right? And then you get to be the guy that acts as kind of the advisor in that respect, maintaining meetings and everything else. And for you, I guess you said that you're kind of wearing that director of sales hat too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to handing that off, but I do enjoy it. So I've been the director of marketing. I've been the director of operation. I've other than the administration part of it, but I'm deeply tied into that. But yeah, you can go a lot further with the team that's handling parts of that. I've seen guys take on too much and they just can't let go, and it crushes you over time. So you have to be willing to do that. Now, I haven't been 100% perfect there. I'm very particular about the vision of the company and how things operate and all that. So navigating those relationships and handing that off, I've been very good at times, and I've been difficult to work with at times. But you have to recognize those things and work on it. I'm a super strong visionary type. Eventually, I hope to have somebody that's more of like an integrator in between that I can work with really well. That's more of a manager mindset. And if I can find somebody, I've interviewed so many people for it, I just haven't found the person that I'm ready to pull the trigger on. And I hope that it's within my organization and they can work up into that. But, we'll see in time.
As the visionary, do you find it difficult to execute?
Yes. Yeah. I can do it for short periods of time, but then I get bored and I want to hand it off.
Yeah.
I can definitely dive into something and do really great at it, but I lose interest and I'm just like, okay, somebody take this over.
Yeah, dude. Well, it's like, from the visionary aspect of stuff, you have this kind of big bird's eye view of the business, right?
Yeah.
You can see where the ship is going and you're like, okay, I know where I want the ship to be and I know the culture that I want my ship to have. But all the nitty gritty stuff is so taxing on the visionary personality, right?
Absolutely.
You're like,
a
dude,
pebble in your shoe.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that is the best.
Yes.
It's serious.
Yeah, dude. And I think there's probably a lot of PCOs out there that relate to that, because to start and build a pest control company, I mean, you probably start out as a pretty heavy visionary. Where you have to have that thing that wakes you up every morning where you're like, dude, I'm in it to win it. I'm going through debt, through all sorts of other crazy stuff, you have to have this vision. And then you get to the point of your business where you don't want to be your own bottleneck and you got to start finding all these other people who can take on those tasks and responsibilities, just like you're doing. Right.
Yeah.
And I like that you're, obviously you don't want to be too picky, right? Like you gotta get people in the right spots and the right seats on the bus, but also you don't want to waste time hiring the wrong people or trying to force somebody into a position they're not supposed to be in. So
it's one of our core values is commitment to personal growth. So one of my goals is to bring people up as I grow up. So every day I'm in a position I've never been in before, and so are they. So if we're all committed to growing together, as those opportunities open up, they'll be the guy or the lady or whatever. And sometimes you have to go outside, but that's a tough one too, because you don't really know that person real well, and you're bringing them into this family you built.
Yeah.
So it's its own problem, but sometimes that's the healthy thing to do for the family.
Yep. Yeah. I was going to ask you about this other one. So I'm looking at your core values here, and commitment to personal growth is one of them. Then you have these other core values: whatever it takes, love people, genuine connection, and giving back. So how did these? And it says that you develop these core values over time. How did these core values come to fruition, and how have they helped you grow your business?
So I'm probably going to upset some people right now.
Do it, please.
Perfect.
I have this thing about 90% of core values that you see listed on somebody's website or whatever, integrity is there and respect. And I feel like those are two things that you have to be on the team, to be on any successful team.
It's a prerequisite,
right?
Man.
Yeah, they've got that old 90s motivation poster, integrity, doing the right thing. You're like, no crap.
Right? Yeah. So, I mean, if you have the fact that you have to highlight that highlights a problem. So what we decided is I knew, I'm a big core values guy. When I managed a branch for another company, we had our own set of core values because the company didn't have them. And I understand that you have to have a vision. You have to understand, you have to make all that stuff clear, or people will fill in the gray areas with whatever it is. So we decided that we're going to, instead of sitting around a boardroom table and saying, hey, we got to get some core values, we have a 2-hour meeting and we're going to walk out of here with 5 to 7 core values. We're going to let them happen naturally, and we're going to see what we're made of. And earlier on, we were barbarians. We were these guys that were out there that every person we added to the team, they were ready to go to war. We were going to do whatever it took to be successful. And we dealt with, and I'm not, because I don't want to go into too much detail, but there was definitely people trying to bring us down in the beginning. So we had to develop this mentality that it doesn't matter what happens, we are going to find a way,
You say
what
bring you
stands in the
down.
way becomes the way.
Well, yeah, when you
The
say bring
Marcus
you down,
Aurelius approach.
yeah, are you talking about like people like inside the organization? Like you had like a
No,
malignant
there was
tumor
other
in the organization?
organizations. There was other organizations that were reporting us to different boards and making false accusations.
Oh,
It was just we
dirtbags.
could have focused on the negative, and what we decided is we were just whatever it came at us, we are going to prevail, and that's what we did. So we didn't allow that to drag us down and end us in any way. It's sad that was going on, but I feel like I want to say thank you to those people because it made us who we are.
Yeah,
Dude,
they were the obstacle that stood in the way.
exactly.
Yeah. So so our mentality became whatever it takes. But what I slowly started seeing into the second year, because we made that the core value about 6 months into the first year in business, is I started seeing people work these super long hours and do all night shifts and all this stuff I wasn't asking of them, because part of building this is I wanted to see people have a balance in life, and not just completely give everything to the company, because it's important to be able to give to your family, because eventually you're going to break.
Yeah.
And somebody, oh man, I want to give credit, but I think it might have been Ed Milet. I listened on a podcast and he said the idea of life balance is BS. Really, what you're doing is you're taking a piece of the pie and you're enhancing that piece of the pie, which now enhances the entire pie. So if you're working on your personal health or time with your family, you're going to be able to give more at work. Or if you're more efficient or you're developing additional skills, now you can provide for your family more. And you can go on and on with that. So we had to write a statement to our team that was, hey, this is whatever it takes, and this is what it means, and this is also what it doesn't mean. We had to write a whole second statement on what it didn't mean. Because I had guys there. One guy worked a 24-hour shift. I didn't even know. I found out on Facebook that this is before we had GPS on the vehicles. I found out on Facebook because he was working. Well, two guys worked 24-hour shift. One guy's married to my cousin, so I see a post from my cousin on Facebook saying, they're taking advantage of my husband, and he worked a 24-hour shift. Who does that? And I'm like, what? I woke up and went,
You do that? What?
Yeah.
what? So I had to have a stern talk with him about it.
And also like, cuz, why did you post that to the world on just come talk to me?
Yeah.
I know. It could have been that easy. And we have a great relationship now, but I was really surprised. We had like a bird exclusion project, and it was kind of under the gun, but nobody called. And at that point, I was the director of operations. Nobody called me and said, hey, I'm going to work through the night to make this happen, because I would have said, no, we're going to do it tomorrow.
Yeah. Jeez, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it goes to show that obviously you have a team of very dedicated people, right? Because instead of having someone who goes, well, in order to get this done, I need to work through the night, someone might just go, well, this isn't going to happen today, so I'm out, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like on one hand, the problem that you have is that some of these guys were over dedicated, right? And as the leader of the company, you kind of can see that for what it's worth and go, okay, as much as I appreciate that dedication, that's not really sustainable. So
No.
we're gonna
burn
figure
the candle
something
at
else
both
out.
ends and lose your good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what I didn't want. And I don't want people to think that they have to do that, because we have a team around us. We can pull more people in.
Yes.
So, yeah, the next year, so we just that first year we had that one core value, and the next year we had retained a lot of clients, and then we're getting towards the end of the year, and we're like, wow, like what is it that has led to the high level of retention? And I said, our team, they love each other, they love our clients, they just love people, and so we highlighted that as a core value, and now that's a thing that we look for in any future hires is you have to love people. Like if you walk into our office for an interview and you don't acknowledge the first person you see when you walk into the door, and ignore them. Like, you probably don't enjoy interacting with people and you don't love people.
Yeah, it might not be for you.
Hey,
Yeah.
let me ask you this. So sorry, I was going to change gears. Go ahead and finish your thought there, Josh.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay, so I mean, I see you. What I hear is you guys, you've got a wide range of services. You do multifamily stuff. You do a lot of residential. What would you say? I mean, Eric and I have this vision of what our dream service would be, and it involves a zoo and rats and pellet guns. Right? Okay, so that's our dream. That's our dream service. What would you say, Josh, is your this is like your creme de la creme, your dream
like
service?
if somebody called you, you would just be so elated. You're like, oh, this is
yeah,
for
you're
us.
like, I had a dream about this. What would
Yeah, I
that
feel
be?
like a lot of people would say sports arenas and stuff like that. But
Oh yeah, okay.
I don't know. I like the big tech stuff, so I would love to get into Facebook and Google, and because we've always said we want to be, say, the Google or the workplace. We want to be the Google of pest control. We want to be the place where people really enjoy coming to work. They feel connected. They do a lot of things. I think that would be really great. I used to service with the previous company. I used to service the Pixar campus.
Oh, awesome.
What? That's cool.
Yeah, and it was so cool. They had like 20 plus bars throughout their whole facility, and
Bars?
each department bar they would decorate them their own style, and they had a soccer field, a theater, a gym, and I'm hoping that we can grow to the level to where we have some things like that around here. Maybe not the bars, because especially in California, the liability. But have a daycare, have a gym, have a full basketball court, because we're all big basketball fans. But do a lot of things like that for the team, and I think they have a lot of additional resources. One cool thing that I saw there that I would love to do here is they'd have a guest chef come in.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so they would get to they would choose a person. They would get to pick a guest chef to come in and cook for a day. That would be really cool to do those kind of things as we grow larger.
Yeah, that'd be sweet, dude. I can imagine having a guest chef.
Yeah.
It's like, hey man, make us up some sushi. That'd be pretty sweet.
Oh yeah. We have kind of an in-house chef. Our office manager she's a barbecue wizard. So every once in a while she'll be like, "Yeah, guys, I made these what was the pork? What were those? They're like, it's not bacon, but it's like thick bacon. Remember, it was like a maple glazed.
Yes, so good, dude.
What's that cut of meat called?
I don't know what it is. It sounds good though.
Pork back or
something like
whatever.
that. Yeah,
anyway, she'll just come on and with stuff. Oh, I made this brisket last night.
And the first couple of times she started doing it, it was like an afterthought. She was like, "Oh yeah, I barbecued, or I whatever, I smoked this, and I thought I had too much extra, so I bring it into you." And I'm like, "Listen, you're welcome to make extra anytime you want, and bring it into the office.
And here's a budget."
Yeah, like I will pay. I will help pay for this.
Yeah, she for her vacations she goes to like barbecue schools in Texas.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, so that's.
Oh man.
Yeah,
dude,
that's
awesome. Well,
if she wants to relocate to California.
No.
In fact, I'm not even gonna. I'm gonna tell her not to listen to this episode.
Yeah.
We're gonna edit that part out.
Nina, just skip this one.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Well, Josh, I feel like you've been able to grow something really special over there, which is awesome. And I don't know if people tell you, and I hope that your team tells you, thank you, because developing a business like this is. The benefits go further than just the benefits for you, the benefits for them. But I think it actually strengthens the industry in a lot of ways. Small business and just medium business in general struggles with culture. We've talked about this in a lot of different episodes. And sometimes the culture has to do a lot more with, these core values that you're talking about, and having honest core values, not the honesty, integrity, and hard work type values, but like the real stuff. Like, hey, we care about genuine connection and giving back to the community and doing whatever it takes to get the job done and loving people.
Yeah.
Those are major things that I feel like our industry needs more of. So thank you from us to
Thank
you
you.
for putting together something special that I think makes me like our industry that much more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we didn't want to do, we wanted to do something special here, and that's what we're committed to. So, and if it inspires somebody else to do the same thing, that's great. I get inspired every day by, people I hear on your podcast or people I run into in the industry. I feel like there's a big movement going on in the industry to establish, a higher level of professionalism,
Oh yeah,
more connection between,
collaboration.
collaboration. Yeah, that's
Yep.
what I meant. And I feel like we're pushing each other towards more and more success, and I love it.
Dude, I do too. And you know what? That is the entire thrust of Bug Bucks.
Yeah. Yep.
The Facebook group, this podcast, the courses on Bug Bucks Plus. I mean, that's something that we all feel so passionate about, and it shows with all of the members, all the PCOs that are on the Facebook group, and everybody's comments on the podcast. Everybody has that mindset, and it's so cool because it wasn't always like that, but it's starting to become like the mindset that everybody's in, and it's just awesome.
Yeah, I know, it's awesome. You guys are really leading the way. I see the comments that you post on people's posts on there, and it's like, it's not generic feedback. It's really thought out, like, great stuff. So I definitely have screenshotted quite a bit of the stuff you posted on there.
Yeah, well, sometimes like I was commenting on something last night, and Brinley, my wife, leans over and she whispers in my ear. She goes, "How long is that comment?" and I was like, "Hang on." And I posted it, and then I'm like scrolling through it, and I'm like, "It's this long." And she's like, "You're such an idiot."
You know what my kids would say is, "Dad, it's not that deep."
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I had a friend who's got a company in Texas texted me yesterday, and he's like, "I was going to put this on the group, but I figured I'd just text you. When I'm rotating product to avoid resistance, do I rotate active ingredient, or do I rotate mode of action?" And so then I just went just this whole like,
well, let me tell you.
Yeah. And so it just went on and on and on. And then after I read it, I sent it to him, then I read it, and I thought, that's like overkill. So then I texted him back and I said, I probably should have just said rotate MOA instead of active ingredient. And he laughed. He was like, "Oh, that was great, dude. That's just what I needed to hear." So,
oh, dude, but
it's tough to shut it off sometimes when you're really passionate about it.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, dude. And I wish that, dude, I feel like I could keep talking to you for hours, man. You've been so great. And I have more questions for you. We're out of time, so I know that we're going to bring you back on for a second episode, possibly even a third in the future.
Oh, awesome.
I'm really interested in seeing kind of where you take things with your business and your team.
Yep.
So this is going to be great.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity. Like, I've never done anything like this, and this has been really, really great.
Well, you did great. You did 10 out of 10.
Yeah, dude.
Awesome.
You totally killed
Thank
it.
you, guys.
So, Josh, we appreciate you so much for being willing to be on the show. And of course, everybody listening, we appreciate you guys taking the time. If you guys have a coworker, a manager, or an owner who could benefit from listening to this episode, the best way to say thank you to us is to share this episode with them. If you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, go find the group and join. It's Bug Bucks Plus. Lots of information and great connections there. And if you have a topic you want discussed on the show, drop it in the group. As always, this episode is brought to you by Bug Bucks Plus, the #1 training and education platform designed to help you build and scale your pest control company. Visit bugbucksplus.com to sign up and start building today.
And don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks again for listening in, and until next time, keep building those pest control companies.
You're listening to the Bug Bucks Podcast, hosted by Eric Bassett and Jake Klaus.